Hey, everybody. Could y'all hear my intro? See who all we got. I'm just going to take a quick second to say hello to everybody, and we're going to get into the news. Donna, Alish, Josh Connor. Hey there. Okay. Love my intro. Miss CJ Blaze made that for me. Okay. We have more problems, I think, with what's getting ready to go on in Virginia than HeyScan family than what I really realized. And let me tell you why I'm saying that. I wanted to go live around 8 o'clock, and I have been on this blasted internet. I wanted to review some of the articles that I had discussed 2 weeks ago when I did my first live about this Virginia mess. And then I can't find the articles. I went back through my WVPM News live and my West Virginia Prepared Mind live and tried to find, the titles of those articles. They're not there. And that's something. I just now thought I probably, let's see if I can put, so many people aren't subscribed to this channel yet, but this is where I want to give my news. Switch my account. And I hate for everybody to miss it. Community. Oh, and I didn't get the link to put on my news thing. I am so sorry. But maybe underneath my community post on my WVPM, well, Alish, will you or Bones or somebody, I didn't see Bones there, will one of y'all go in underneath that community page and comment the link, please, for this channel? Because I don't want to have to. Ryan84, my West Virginia buddy. How are you, buddy? Carol Brooks. Drop the link in Discord. Thank you, Miss Alish. Okay, so I am very, very upset because I could not find articles that I had previously found. I could not find articles that I've already showed you all. So you have seen it. Because I was just going to, hey, Miss CJ, I was just going to do like a review. I do want to read that letter again to make sure everybody sees that letter because I did that on WV, on West Virginia Prepared Mind. So I want to read that National Guardman's letter. And I got some information, read it, saw it with my own 2 eyes. Now I can't find the articles. I read them yesterday and this morning, and the articles aren't there. So I'm going to tell you what I read, what I've heard, that I really don't have a whole lot to back it up, and I really, really hate that, but I think it's information that you need to know. So for a quick review, everybody knows that Virginia is trying to change the gun laws, and everybody is really, really upset about that. So I'm going to do a screen share really quick and just get right into this. See, I don't need sound. Share. Okay. Over here, I couldn't get this to go any bigger. See all of these green counties in Virginia? Those are all Second Amendment sanctuary counties. Isn't that interesting? I want you all to just absorb that for a quick second. And see, now the red counties are the ones that have not voted. The yellow counties are in the progress of looking at it. And that is so little I can hardly even see it myself. And the yellow counties, these counties up here, these are near DC. These counties are not going to oblige. There are 75 still that I am aware of the 95 counties in Virginia that have declared themselves Second Amendment sanctuary counties. I did have an article where the governor said that they were not going to honor any of these county Second Amendment sanctuary counties, that it made no difference to him. He was not going to do it. I did find the one article. This was from the Howard Turner Show, where it was reported that the governor of Virginia has allegedly ordered a small amount of staffers to begin the process of determining how to cut off electricity, phones, faxes, cellular phones, and data, as well as the internet in areas where he plans to send the National Guard. Okay, this is all review for y'all. This was not on this channel. This was on my other channel. National Guardman breaks rank on DM's Virginia gun control. We will not comply. This was such a very, very well written letter. I wanted to share it on this channel. Over the past few months, Virginia Democrats have worked to pass extreme gun control measures in the state. In fact, the Democratic congressman went as far as to say that the National Guard may have to be used in order to enforce the door-to-door gun grabs. And ultimately, I'm not the governor, but the governor may have to nationalize the National Guard to enforce the law, Republican Donald McEachin reported, according to a report, an interview that he gave in Newsweek. Okay, this is the letter by the unknown guardsman that wanted to stay anonymous. Mr. McEachin, have you ever heard of the little thing called the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878? Apparently, you are not. Allow me to fill you in. The purpose of the act is to limit the military branches from enforcing laws against U.S. citizens. While the PAC does not prevent the governor from calling the National Guard, the law enforcement capacity of the Guard while on state active duty is full-scale enforcement of martial law when local law enforcement can no longer maintain civilian control. Are you listening, Mr. McEachin? If Governor Northam were to call up the National Guard, it would be through enacting martial law. Martial law is the imposition of direct military control of normal civilian functions by a government, especially in response to a temporary emergency such as invasion, major disaster, or in an occupied territory. Sheriffs and police chiefs refusing to go against the Constitution to fulfill your stupid anti-gun drivel hardly constitutes a temporary emergency. If you and your fellow Constitution-hating hacks continue to push an agenda of gun banning, forfeiture, or confiscation, I can almost assure you that you might meet more than one requirement for enacting martial law. If you force local law enforcement to start violating people's Second Amendment rights by taking their guns, you will wind up with a temporary emergency due to an occupied territory. If the state deems that it should enact martial law because sheriffs whose only crime is standing up for the Constitution, here is what it looks like. The state constitution would be suspended. So would habeas corpus and civil rights. There would be no freedom of press, assembly, or speech. Curfews would be enforced on people. Troops would be in the streets for enforcement. Checkpoints would be set up for control. The guard would have the ability to hold a person without charge, imprisonment without representation or due process. Seeing that we are talking about gun control, there would be warrantless house to house gun confiscation of firearms, ammunition, and food supplies. I have to wonder if it is really what the Democratic leaders in Virginia want, because what it equates to is the tyrannical government using its military as enforcers, and that is exactly what the Second Amendment was created to protect against. If the Virginia legislators want to push this issue, it could get ugly. Oh, and by the way, plan on seeing a vast majority of the Virginia National Guard become objectors. It will be really hard for them to arrest cops and confiscate guns when none of them will carry the necessary arms to enforce said arrests or confiscations. How do I know this? I am one of them and will be one of the first to lay my gun down and walk away. I will not be a pawn in the tyrannical game of human chess. Neither will most of the men and women I serve with. Let us know what you think of the national. Oh, that was okay. The NRA. Oops, let's get rid of this. Virginia governor preparing for mass incarcerations of gun owners with increased corrections budget. I have seen this printed and stated in articles on other YouTube channels multiple times. He has asked for his corrections budget to be increased in order to jail citizens that they need to arrest because they will not give up their guns. As Natural News is where this comes. Independent news media have been reporting now for more than a month. A shutdown is nearly in the state of Virginia between patriots who are set to oppose a raft of new gun control laws that may include confiscations, and Democrats who are behaving more like King George ahead of the American Revolution. Some 114 counties and local jurisdictions. Now, it's 75 counties that have become Second Amendment. This is an article, I'm just telling you this, that have become Second Amendment sanctuary counties. The additional number to get to this 114 are cities that have also had town hall meetings and decided to declare themselves sanctuary cities. Okay, essentially, officials in gun sanctuary jurisdictions are stating that they will refuse to cooperate with the state authorities in the enforcement of any new gun laws they believe violate the Second Amendment. Like officials in sanctuary cities refuse to allow local police to arrest federal immigration agents in the apprehension of illegal aliens. Democrats in Virginia, newly empowered with election victories in November that gave them control of the state legislature for the first time in years, plan to work with Democrat Governor Ralph Northam to pass new gun laws they claim are necessary to end the violence. Among measures that have been considered or proposed, a red flag law empowering judges to authorize police to take guns away from people who haven't yet committed any crime but are only thought to be dangerous, as assault weapons ban, a gun buyback program associated with the assault weapons ban, forced confiscation of said assault weapons that are not sold or turned in, bans of large capacity magazines, and universal background checks. Police and sheriffs throughout the state who are supportive of the gun sanctuaries have said they don't have a problem enforcing existing gun laws already on the books, but they say they have few, if any, of the proposed measures will curb. They think that few of the gun measures will curb any crime. Nevertheless, not only the Democratic officials in Virginia serious about ensuring that any new gun laws will be enforced according to the National Rifle Association, Northam has plussed up the state's prison budget in anticipation of having a mass incarceration of violators of the new laws. Okay, let me get back to you. Here I am. Okay. I could also not find anything other than on other YouTube channels. One was a very good channel. He is in Virginia, and it is the Town Hall Media was his channel. He actually had the Buchanan County Sheriff on his channel. I think it was yesterday that he interviewed the gentleman, and he said that in the length of time that he has been the sheriff in Buchanan County, that I think he said 12 years he had been the sheriff, that immediately upon taking his position, he had spoken with people that he trusted and had worked with people in his county and had already established what he would call a small militia that in case of a problem, he would deputize those individuals. The reason being is he said that the Virginia state budget is not big enough to hire enough deputies to police the county, and that he had been contacted by several of the sheriffs in several counties that have discussed that the biggest part of the problem is in their areas, and it's in my state too. There are not enough deputies to take care. I'm in one of the largest counties in the state. There's not enough deputies to take care of anything. So he said that in Virginia, typically, what they had depended on and had never had a problem at all. They have, typically between the ages of 10 and 12, kids start to hunt. They're in the homes with the guns. The new gun law would prohibit a child to be in a home without the gun being locked up if the parents were gone. You know, they're wanting to do away with any type of violent act, boxing, that kind of thing. But he said that if he had someone to call the sheriff's department or 911 and they had an intruder that was entering the home, he said in most cases, a minimum of 25 minutes to respond to that home that someone was breaking down the door. And he said that it was the general consensus of the Virginia sheriffs that they would much rather their citizens be armed and be able to protect themselves and their families, because by the time they got there in 25 minutes, that person had dialed 911 would more than likely be dead or hospitalized, be in bad shape, depending on if it's just beaten. So this is coming from deputy sheriffs. This is the sheriffs in the counties in Virginia. It was Cumberland County that first said, the sheriff there, that they would deputize any law-abiding citizen. The other counties are following along with that. Now, I have information that, I can't necessarily share where I got it. So this is, take it for what you want. But I have some, I guess we all have, connections that we don't tell where we got our information. But it is highly suspected that Mr. George Sorebutt has paid for Annie drinking her Tifa to put themselves in the middle of any organized rally of patriots and present themselves as patriots. But the full plan is to have one of those Annie drinking Tifa people to fire a weapon. And that is in order to make it look like it is the patriots and to try to create a bloodbath on the patriots that are only there standing up for what we all call our constitutional rights, but our forefathers put in there that it was an inalienable right, which means it was a God-given right for us as humans to be able to protect ourselves. So basically, it's not even a constitutional right. Our founding fathers just wanted to make sure that what is getting ready to happen in Virginia never could take place. That letter I read from that guardsman. There's only 7,800 guardsmen in Virginia. There's over 1 point some million gun owners in Virginia. Outnumbered. Okay, I found an article. Let's see if I can find which one it is. Okay, let's set this one. I want to read you this one. Let me do my screen share. You might be a little surprised. This one. I want to see where this article comes from. Oh, Dave Hodges. This is one of his newsletters. I get his newsletters from the Common Sense Show. He said, putting a final end to the denial of UN troops on American soil. He has been informed that UN troops have landed in Cuba. And there is information that they are also in Maryland, but there is a large number. So you can look up Dave Hodges' show. I am claiming Fair Use Act in showing that. I clicked on the wrong thing and clicked myself out of my StreamYard. Could y'all even hear anything I was saying? So much for the Fair Use Act. Thank you, CJ. Yes, it is an inalienable right. Okay. There was an article that I found. I read this morning that the UN has a couple thousand troops in Cuba. They have let Florida know that the troops are there. There are UN troops in Maryland. I cannot find that Cuba article now. I am going to have to start emailing all these articles to myself and have them in my email. That is how I decided that I was going to keep these articles when things are scrubbed. There are several of the articles that I've presented on my other two reports on Virginia. I can't find them anymore. They are gone. Nowhere. So I'm going to start emailing these things to myself. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read y'all's comments right now. But it is highly suspected, since it's known and probably part of the plan, that Annie Drinking Ortifa is going to be at that rally January 20th when the Virginia legislature convenes to fire off a shot, that's going to be what they use to bring in UN troops. Now, I did have an article also that I can't find that discussed, and it's fairly common knowledge, that President Obama, one of his last efforts before he left office, is he signed an agreement with the UN that if ever there was any civil unrest on our soil, that our Constitution would be suspended, we would be put under martial law, and the UN would take us over. Now, I thought, Jiminy Christmas, all of this with Virginia. Virginia is just where it's going to start. Let me give you a little shocker. And I think it is the Guns and Gadgets show. He is he goes in and absolutely reads all of the bills that are going to be presented for law in all of the states. So I would recommend highly you go talk to him. But in my research, I have been able to gather a list among everybody that has read the articles, presented the articles, that not only is this happening in Virginia, either the bills are already written and going to be presented to be voted on when the legislative sessions all start in each state next month, or the bills are in the process of being written and they plan to vote on it before the end of the legislative session. And there's a couple that haven't started, but they're thinking about it. So either the bill's already written or it's in the process of being written. It's already written in Virginia. So it's either written or in the process of being written in Vermont, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New York, Kentucky, Oklahoma, New Jersey, Illinois, Oregon, Washington, California, Florida, and Colorado. The states that are looking at proposing such a bill for vote to be put into law before the end of the legislative session this year, or in 2020, are Texas, Louisiana, and Kansas. It's a bunch of states, folks. Can you imagine? Now, I was worried about it just being Virginia. No, I'm not surprised about Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Washington, California, any of those blue states. No. Hey, typical American. We have about another source that I have. We have about 20 states that are currently organizing their militias. Virginia is organizing their county militias and their state militia because the sheriffs will not abide by this. They have already drafted the bill, and part of one of the bills they're going to approve in Virginia, they've already bean counters. They already know who's going to vote for these bills and make them law in Virginia. They are going to increase their criminal justice budget because they're going to arrest people. Probably going to arrest some of these sheriffs. Now, one of the articles that I wanted to find that I did not present last time, read it myself, can't find it, scrubbed on the internet, is I lost my train of thought. I had to explain to you where it went. I lost it. Totally lost that train of thought. My mind was going in too many daggone places. But they'll arrest some of these sheriffs. Somebody doesn't do something with this governor. On my other channel, I remembered that this is the same governor in the 2019 January legislative session that presented, along with the state of New York, having full birth abortion approved for the state of Virginia. And that his example, I saw him interviewed. His example was if a family were to have a Downs baby, they would be able to let the baby lay aside while the doctor educated them and then decide if they were capable of taking care of a Downs baby. And if the baby happened to die while the discussion was happening, or if the family decided they couldn't take care of this baby and allowed it to lay there and die, that they were going to call that a full birth abortion. That term was coined in Australia in 2012. This is the same governor that did multiple ads last legislative session wanting full birth abortion passed. Now he's going after the guns. I'm not getting in an abortion debate. There's 50 million different sides to that story, but full birth abortion, partial birth abortion, head out, shoulders in, it is not considered a birth. They snip the spinal cord, or they take a mallet and put a steel rod in the baby's brain and turn it into a milkshake, kill that baby. Its shoulders aren't out. It's not considered birth. It's late term abortion. Then they pull out a dead baby. Full birth is they allow it to be born and they lay it to the side. This governor wanted that legalized in Virginia. And I hadn't put two and two together until the other night when I was on the other channel talking about it. So, given that, no wonder this guy's wanting to create a civil conflict to start off. Who would have ever thought it was started in Virginia? Okay, here's our other thing that we got to look at. We do have big militia groups. We need militias. But there appears to be a smaller group that really believes that this nation is ready for civil conflict. And that is the only thing that is going to clean the swamp in Washington. Got a little bit of a different playing ground. This isn't like the North and the South fighting each other with their guns and burning houses on farms, and we've got all of that equipment. Just shoot a beam at you, and if your weapon, gets hot, you get hot, you're going to drop it, you're going to run. We've got all kinds of Star Wars kind of equipment now. It's not a level playing ground. This is dangerous. We are looking at a potential bloodbath. Now, I personally believe that what this Democratic Congress or legislature, state legislature, is trying to do, and that Virginia governor and any of the other governors that try to do this, is treasonous. Can't bring harm to people. Can't find the article. It's also scrubbed that the Virginia governor also proposed cutting power, internet, even faxes to stop all communication in the state of Virginia. So now that this is getting closer to January 20th, and there are more than non-mainstream media reporting on this, articles are disappearing. I will be emailing them to myself from now on. I promise you that. But I am a patriot. I would lay my life down for my country if I needed to, if I was asked to. But we need to be careful how this is handled. This is in the cards. It's gonna happen. Oh, I know where I was going with that. Um, and if one of my mods remembers, we were talking about, um, I don't remember who I was talking to, but the drones are supposed to be looking for caches of large caches of guns and looking for metal bunkers. They can go several feet into the ground. They can look through walls. They can see tubular um, figures, square boxes, and it's highly suspected that they're looking for the preppers. Something to think about. If I find where I was told that or saw that, I will tell you next time, but I couldn't find it. So let me see what everybody's got to say. And then we're going to take off out here. And later, I'm going to go on West Virginia Prepared Mind. What's Prescott saying? Hey, Mr. Jerry, Prescott Caliber Club. You all click on these people's names: Barefoot Lass, Lois Young, Josh Connor, Helen Dixon, Moon Vase 5. Hi there. I'm so glad y'all have found me. I'm going to be driving to Virginia for the rally on the 20th, traveling 40 if anyone wants to caravan. I'm going to possibly do a grid down scenario video with typical American on the way. Oh, how awesome is that? Well, you need to email me and give me your number if you are coming through here, which you should have to. If you're going to be on Interstate 64, let me know. I will meet you guys and say hello. Love to meet everybody in person. Yes, I had an article that was talking about the money that Bloomberg has put into this mess. Thank you, Prescott Caliber Club, for reminding me that I had the article. Actually, I read part of one of the articles on one of my other lives. Cannot find that article. Got to start emailing this stuff to me. Yes, Bloomberg is highly involved. Anyone that is going to that rally, I want you all to be very, very careful and look for those plants. Maybe they'll shoot up in there, but if they do, a bullet has to come down. Maybe they'll shoot one of the patriots. I don't know. They're evil. Antifa is evil. They were there. George Soros paid for the buses to bring illegals to the Mexican border, and Antifa went and y'all know I'm talking in code. Don't have to worry about it. I don't think I'm so small yet, but in case I just need to get in a habit of it for the other channel. But I saw those buses. There's a YouTuber in California that was driving down showing all that stuff, paid for by George O. Sorbat. We're standing up for God-given rights. Black screen. There was my black screen. Okay. Well, that's the news for you all. I will look for your video, Prescott Caliber Club. Yes, it's gonna be the spark. This is not, if anybody thinks that this is an FF, or if anybody thinks that this is a trial run, I'm sorry. My opinion is the trial run was Venezuela. This Virginia thing is not a trial run. There are too many states. And let me tell you, when you have the sheriff's departments rallying militia to come to Virginia and help them, and then we've got UN being rallied up, this isn't an FF. This isn't, let's see what's going to happen. This could get very real very fast come January 20th. And I'm worried because I know I've got friends that are going to be at that rally. And then I know the evil players that are going to be in that rally. And they're going to make my patriot friends look like the bad guys. I mean, they've already said patriots are homegrown terrorists. It's just going to try to make everybody look worse. Colorado, I think those drones, and I had an article, read it. They're looking for bunkers and large caches of guns. They're getting ready for a nationwide civil conflict. Those drones are owned by the Department of Homeland Security, and everybody running around acting, we don't know who's flying those drones. It's Department of Homeland Security. And another thing, if you noticed on More Frugal TV last night, when Adam was talking about that, one of the people posted in the chat, their Department of Homeland Security, my brother works for them. Saw that post. He was not guessing, he was giving fact. So I don't want to turn this into a real chatty channel. We can get real chatty. Now, if any of you guys that are planning on making that trip to Virginia would like to join me on the West Virginia Prepared Mind channel in about a half an hour and discuss your trip and discuss your thoughts on this, I'd love to have y'all on screen. Prescott Caliber Club, Typical American, Jerry. If you guys would join me on West Virginia Prepared Mind and discuss this, I would love to have y'all on the screen with me. Are any of you all interested in that? Let's see, it's 9:19. I don't know, around 9:30. Jerry or Typical American or Prescott Caliber Club, would y'all like to come and do a panel and discuss this with me on the West Virginia Prepared Mind channel? CJ's got the link. Oh, it's okay, Typical American, that's all right. What about you, Prescott or Jerry? Is Jerry still here? I haven't seen Jerry post in a minute. Jerry might not still be here. Okay. All right, that sounds good. I'd like to find somebody that can get on a panel that's planning on going. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'd really like to hear um Barefoot Lass. I'm just trying to get some of the guys that are planning on going to Richmond. Um you've been here, haven't you? I was just talking about the UN and the drones are owned by Homeland Security. Um Prescott Caliber Club. Um let's see. I can't list. There you go. There is my email address. If you'll email me your email, I have to send direct invites to come on screen with me because on my other channel, I tend to have a lot of trolls and I don't want I don't want a troll to try to come on screen with me, if you know what I mean. Oh, you was making food and missed some? I think that's about all you missed. Yeah. If you will email me your email address, I send you a link, you click on it, and when it brings you straight to me, and I click on that little box and poof, you're on the screen with me. Yes, it's StreamYard. Yes, what I'm using, StreamYard. All right, everybody. I am going to clear out of here for a few minutes, grab me something to eat real quick, got hungry, and then we'll go live on West Virginia Prepared Mind and get sassy about this topic if you want to. Hope I can get some of these guys on here to get a little sassy with me about it. But always remember, never be scared, just be prepared. And I'll report, you decide. Um, give you my personal opinion over on the other channel, sister channel, West Virginia Prepared Mind. But until next time, when I have you some new information, I will be seeing you. Don't ever forget, I love each and every one of you. See you in a little while at West Virginia Prepared Mind. Bye bye.